What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Arsenal January transfer window news show. Yeah, I still don't have anything catchy for it. I am still accepting suggestions. Leave comments down below. Maybe we could come up with a title for this show that lifts the mood a little, because it is pretty bloody gloomy at the moment. It is a crappy time to be a Gooner. We went back-to-back defeats in London derbies after having gone 17 games without defeat, breaking records. We went from being top at Christmas to fourth on January 1st and 5 points behind league leaders Liverpool, who we face this weekend in the FA Cup. And you have to say, we are all out of shape. Our form is completely gone. There are players just in the game against Fulham, Declan Rice, Saliba and Saka, all had below par games. You add to this the loss of form Martinelli, Zinchenko injured but giving away goals. Jakub Kiwior not looking good. We look in no kind of shape at the moment. And any of us who were hoping that the January transfer window was going to lift the gloom, I think we can say we're just guilty of wishful thinking. Oh, before we go on though, just while I have you here, if you could just click the like button, it's absolutely free to you, makes no difference in your life whatsoever, but it means the world to me. So let's do that now. Here's your content. This is what Mikel Arteta said going into the transfer window. At the moment, it is very difficult. We are really short, he said. We have positions that we've been very exposed for the last 6 weeks, and hopefully we're going to get players back in. What condition and when? That's a question mark. And as well, because we have some long-term injuries still for certain players that give us a lot of versatility, and that's an issue. We have certain targets, ideas if things happen as well. We don't know how the squad is going to look in 2 weeks' time, and you have to always be prepared for that. But it is a very tricky market that shifts very quickly, and it's quite unpredictable as well. And you have to be prepared. We will be prepared, and we will try to make the right calls if there is something that we can do to improve the squad. And that needs appear, and we cannot fill it with the players here. We are always going to be open to that because we want to be stronger. And so it's on the basis of that. So what it seems to be saying is that they are ready to do some business. We are ready to do some transfer business in the January window if the right player comes along. So, not to bring the mood down a little further, but I was really gutted today because according to Fabrizio Romano, and this is a here we go, Marcoss Leonardo. I did a video about Marcoss Leonardo. He is a 20-year-old. Some people say he's a future Neymar. He's been prolifically scoring in a Santos team that was relegated for the first time in its history. He is a player with bags of potential. And he has apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, Marcoss Leonardo to Benfica, here we go, which is pretty much the definitive, isn't it? Agreement in place with Santos for Brazilian striker after initial bid on Tuesday. Understand the fee will be 18 million euros fixed. There will be no add-ons. Marcoss Leonardo has already accepted documents to be checked aside. How gutting is this? Either it is true that we just didn't rate him, or we don't have the 18 million. Can you imagine? Any of us who were hoping that the January transfer window was going to lift the gloom, hoping that the one marquee signing that we could bring in, if you're somebody who thought Ivan Toney was that guy, I can understand how one big signing like that could lift the spirits in the club. But definitely, it would be overlooking the fact that there are much bigger shortages in other parts of our team. Here's the problem. Tomiyasu's at the Asian Cup. Zinchenko's injured. Jakub Kiwior is our only left back, which has led today to speculation that actually Arsenal are more interested in a fullback than they are in a forward. And I think that's always been the case. Kieran Tierney's injury may see him out till the middle of February, or it may be the rest of the season. Don't know how reliable Tomiyasu is when he comes back from a tournament away. Zinchenko, even when he's fully fit, is not exactly your best defensive option at left back at the moment. So we do need a fullback, and this is going to be embarrassing, isn't it? I don't think there's anything to this, but reports that Kieran Tierney may be recalled from his loan at Real Sociedad. Now, I felt that Kieran Tierney didn't fit our style of play. And again, it comes down to we seem to have let him go because we had Timber and then the injury to Timber. We needed to strengthen that in summer and didn't. Is it possible that we could... I don't know, first of all, if it's actually contractually possible for us to recall Kieran Tierney from Sociedad. But if it's possible, I definitely despite the fact that I was okay with him leaving, I didn't think we needed him. Right now, I would definitely prefer it if Kieran Tierney was in the squad. So maybe there's something to that. There aren't really any other strong contenders being talked about. It's a position we definitely need to strengthen. There is nobody in the radar really for the left back position. And that might be because actually we don't have any money at all. I wasn't really expecting much from this transfer window, but that seems to have taken me down a peg, even below where I thought I was going to be, losing out on Marcoss Leonardo for 18 million euros with no add-ons. Nothing. How we can't raise 18 million pounds from player sales. We do have some players. Other than that, there's nothing really to report. It is a very quiet day in what I think is going to be a quiet month. The Mirror running with a story today that we covered yesterday, which is Zubimendi is targeted and El Neni may be leaving. Boniface is still talked about. Tony still gets the occasional mention, but increasingly it's people saying that it looks like Brentford won't let him go. And I actually can totally understand why you wouldn't want to lose him at the moment. And when I think about, and with Tony, and when I think about how long it took, and when you think about how long it took to get that Declan Rice deal done, don't you think the Ivan Toney one would take a similar amount of time? And that just doesn't seem like it's going to happen in January anyway. Plus, he's a free agent in 2025, so maybe you wait till he's 29 and you sign him on a free, or maybe you just don't spend 100 million quid you don't have, and we're not going to. And if we did have that 100 million, it would be great to speculate. If money was no object, Douglas Luiz, I read a couple of places where, and this comes apparently from Kieran Gibbs, thinks that we should swap Emil Smith-Rowe and Eddie Nketiah for Douglas Luiz. At least that's what I think he said. Yep. I mean, maybe that's the solution to all our problems. I don't want to see Emil Smith-Rowe go. If there was one thing that could make this transfer window even worse for me, it would be losing Emil Smith-Rowe. Even gaining Douglas Luiz, who I highly rate, wouldn't make that better. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's all try and be as positive as we can at the moment, because that's what it is to support. Being a fan is one thing, but being a supporter is something else. Let's support. Let's give everything we can, because if we demand the highest standards of others, then we must be able to deliver the highest standards ourselves. I will continue to be positive till it's impossible to be otherwise. And I hope you will be too. But this January transfer window, today's news is there is no news except we couldn't afford Marcoss Leonardo for 18 million, or we didn't rate him. I don't know. Anyway, look forward to hearing what you think about this show. Don't hesitate to click a like.